Welcome everybody, Gareth Jones here from Paris Technologies. Today I've got a little video about how you would build a model from scratch in our free version of our technology PowerExcel. Really powerful technology, free to use. You've got to build the model yourself. Today in this little video I'm going to show you me building a model. I'm going to build a little income statement model. It's a model that you can follow and build yourself, and it would be of immediate value to your company. All right, let's have a look at it. So today I'm going to show you how you could build a little income statement consolidation model from scratch in our free technology. So I really want to iterate this again. It's free, it can solve real world problems, and it's very easy to use. So I'm going to show you from scratch how you could build a little income statement model, and you can download the software and do it yourself. All right, let's get started. So let's have a look at the data. So I've got a little CSV file like this. It's got some accounts, months, and some data. And if I use remove duplicates, I end up with these accounts, months, these entities, these departments, these years, and these budget, forecast, budget, stretch, etc. Let's build a model using this information. Go here into our Relation graphic user interface. We're going to say new database. It's going to be a Nexus database. We just need somewhere to put it, and we're going to put it over here in the from scratch, and I'm going to call this P2, and I save it. I'm going to take all the default settings. There's P2. First thing is, let's make some dimensions. So I'm going to start with the account. Now what we're going to do is we're going to speed up this video for you so that we miss out on the repetitive nature of this. Okay, but watch this. Okay, so I've made a whole lot of dimensions for you. Should make some sense to you if you do this type of planning. And next thing, I'm going to try to bring all of these dimensions together in a cube. And let's see how we do that. Just pick the dimensions I want. In this particular case, I want all of them. And take all of the default sections. Only thing I can do is I can arrange these, and it's just visualization. The last two will create my rows and columns. So normally it would be like that. And then any order that you find useful. And you hit save. You've got a cube. All right. How can I visualize that cube in Excel? When you install our product for the first time, you'll get a new element to the Excel ribbon. You don't lose anything. You've got every little piece of Excel you used to have. You've got that whole massive formula language. You've got all the tabs. You've got all the shortcuts, everything you used to. You just get this additional tool, right? First thing you're going to do is you're going to connect to your database, any named P2, we'll call it. And if you've got the free version, it's going to be on your machine. So it'll be like this, localhost, and the default port 4387. And you're going to look for your database, and there it is, P2. From there, you're going to click New, and this should look familiar to you because by design, it looks like a pivot table functionality, right? There's a lot of additional options here, which I'm not going to go into today, but if you double left click on things, you've got this opportunity to filter. And the syntax is, this is what you can filter on, this is what you have filtered on, move from left to right. Lots of ways of getting it there. Just delete, drag from left to right, Or if you want, you can right click and use the shortcuts there. Or if you want, you can use these little shortcuts over here, and they have a little IntelliSense, and it'll tell you what it is. Okay, and then you just insert it, and you can see you can put it anywhere in this current sheet, new workbook, and you just insert it. And you've got this this section here. This ability to filter is still there. You double click, that wizard comes back up. Just move things across. You've got it. So there you got it. All put together. You've got a nice little cube, and you're almost ready to go, okay? Now we're going to speed this up for you again, but I'm going to add some functionality to the dimensions to make it a little bit more meaningful. All right, here it goes. Okay, so very quickly, I've showed you how to create the first type of calculation in this technology, which is we call an aggregate or a sum. And I started with simple ones like total department, total month, and then I got to a little bit more complicated one, the account dimension. But there's a lot of training materials out there, free materials for you if you want to learn about how you do this. But it's fairly simple and intuitive, and we call it the parent-child relationship. The parent is the sum of all the children. I'm going to show you one little twist on that, which is that depending on your account dimension, you may not want a sum, you may want a subtraction, right? So let's think about that. So for example, operating profit, or think about gross profit for a minute. Gross profit, depending on your debit credit convention, it may be revenue minus cost of sales. In order to allow that, you just change the weight here. So it basically sums minus one of it, which becomes a subtraction. Same at the operating profit, the operating expenses will be a minus one. Now this is dependent on the way you manage your debits and credits. But if you have expenses displayed as positive and revenue displayed as positive, you're going to need to manage the negative side of it, the subtraction. This is how you would do it. Okay, very simple. All right, so we've created a cube, we've created a whole lot of dimensions with now I have some aggregates on them. We're going to want to load some data. How are we going to load data? Now, if you've got the free version, the only way you can load data is by pasting it in Excel. So, like a good chef, I've prepared something for you. So let's go and get that. Okay, so what we got here, we got a situation where I've made a big slice, like I showed you with the pivot table, where I've put a whole lot of things here on the rows, and it's ready to accept some data. Now, I have my data in a CSV file, and all I need to do is have it in the same shape as what I've created here. Now, there's lots of ways of doing that in Excel. You can use a pivot table, you can do all sorts of different things. I've used the SUMIF to create the shape. Very simple. Now all I need to do is highlight it, use Excel's copy, and because these are formulas, I'm just going to paste values. And I've loaded 2021. I'm going to load 2022 as well. And so if you're loading your data every month as you close your accounting period, very, very simple to get a little extract out of your accounting package and use simple Excel to stage it up next to the slice, copy and paste. It'll take you all of 5 minutes once a month, and you'll have all of this data together in an awesome database that allows you to do some planning. Okay, so we've loaded the data. Now let's start thinking about what might our planning look like, right? Very quickly, I'm just going to cut you a slice. I'm going to use my pre-made database like a good chef. And let's say, and let's just insert it as it stands like that. All right. So we know we've got some actual data for 2019, but now let's say I want to do a forecast for 2022. I'm going to change my filter to 2022, and I'm going to change my version to forecast. And I've got this situation here where potentially I've got some actual data coming through from my actual version, and then I've got some assumption data or future data that I want to fill in. So how do I get this actual data to come in on these months where I've got the data? So let's call them, in accounting terms, we'd call them closed months. How do I get that to happen? Well, I just need a little formula, right? A simple formula, and I'm going to show you. I need a couple of things. So let's go back. What I need is, I need something called a closed month. So let's go, here I've got a subset, and I call this closed. And it's very simple to assign those properties. I can just tick. Those are closed. And then potentially in the year dimension, I need a couple of subsets. I need one called history, and I need one called this year. Again, very simple. All right, and then I need one formula. So in my cube, if I go to edit cube, I've got this section to write formulas. Nothing here right now. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about this. I'm going to just copy this formula out of Excel. But we do offer great training on formulas. It is pretty easy to get it to work. And I'll just spend a little bit of time explaining it. So here you've got the equal sign, you've got above the equal sign and below the equal sign. Above the equal sign is a filter. So if you look at this filter, it says, I want the details. I'm going to ignore those aggregates, those sigmas that we designed within the dimension. And then I'm going to look at version forecast, right? I'm filtering on that. I'm filtering on year, this year, and I'm filtering on month close. And I'm saying, well, go and get the data out of the version actual. So I'm in version forecast, go and get version actual. What does that mean for the calculation? Let's go and have a look. So if we just have a look at these numbers here, this 1448, if I go to version actual, there it was. It came from version actual. Let's go back to version forecast. And I want to just show you how easy it is now with this formula. In order for me to close another month, let's say May now becomes closed, all I've got to do is, I'm working in my pre-made one. Let's go to the month, go to my attributes and say, okay, April, we close, let's close May, save, and let's go and see what happens to this calculation. And new data comes in, right? So let's just put in a forecast for sales, and we come along there, recalculates all my sales. I've still got all of Excel's functionality, so obviously one of the simple things I could do is add some number formatting, use that comma formatting and just get rid of those decimals. So there, I was doing 14,000, and for whatever reason, I'm now saying 1,000, and cost of sales 500. Let's say. Sorry, wrong line. Cost of goods sold there. And I'm just going to copy paste. Let's close this June now, imagining that the accounting period closed. Save that. And the actual data comes in for June. Very powerful. I'm showing you very, very simply how you can build this model, but with just this little simple model, you're just going to be able to solve a lot of your company's problems. None of this calculation is living in Excel. It's all been defined by the work we've just done. And you're going to be able to do like a lot with it. Okay. Yeah, thank you.